What's up, you beauties? Welcome to the Friday Flyover. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but I felt it was the right time to resurrect it. We have a couple interesting topics to touch on during the next 20 minutes. We'll do 10 minutes on the topics, and if anybody joins the spaces or has comments and questions or comments on the YouTube stream, we'll take 5-10 minutes at the end to answer those. So obviously the three topics we're going to be talking about during this space is Carter Hart, Matvey Michkov, or the absence of Michkov, and Morgan Frost. We'll start with Frost first, since maybe it's the least controversial of the three. Morgan Frost signed a 2-year deal worth $4.2 million with the Philadelphia Flyers earlier this week. And I think the deal's pretty good, right? So I'm just going to say right off the bat that I think Morgan Frost can easily outplay that contract as soon as this season. I think it's a great deal for the Flyers because even if Frost is not able to outplay that deal, it doesn't hamstring them for anything else. And if Frost somehow explodes, how much of a raise can he get? I don't think he's an $8 million player. I know the cap's going up by the time that contract is done. Maybe he's getting between 5 and 6, something like that. But let's look for next year and the year after. That's an outstanding contract for a potential 2C. Most likely, I would say most people are penciling him into the third line. But I think Frost is a guy that can easily be their second line center. And depending on what's going on with Sean Couturier, right, could potentially be the Flyers' first line center at points this season. So $2.1 million a season for 2 years. Give me that all day for Morgan Frost, right? I want to know what you guys think about that. So get your questions ready. The next topic is Matvey Michkov. So if you were like me, you were getting ready to put the KHL game on about 12. I think it was starting at 12 today, 7 o'clock p.m. Russian time. You were getting ready to watch Matvey Michkov play in hopefully his second game of the season, fourth game for his KHL team. And he was healthy scratched for the third time in 4 games. Now, if you're on Twitter, which I'm sure a lot of you are, you've seen every day there's an update. Oh my God, Michkov's not playing. Oh my God, what's going on? I don't think I'm one to stress like that. He's 18 years old. Russia has a minor league, I'm pretty sure, but you don't want him spending time with the minor leagues over there. It's fine. He's 18 years old. We know he's a good player. He'll be here when he's here. I think there were reports. Well, I don't want to get into that. Sorry, guys. But, yeah, third scratch in 4 games. Want to know what you guys think. Hey, Ty. Hey, Mew. Thanks for popping in. We're just covering a couple topics here. We'll get to questions and comments during the last 10 minutes. Only going 20 minutes today, just before 1. We're going to wrap up. We touched on Morgan Frost's contract already. 2 years, $4.2 million, 2.1 average annual value. Nope, Ty, you didn't miss much. We only touched on Morgan Frost. I want to know what you guys think about that deal. I think he's going to outplay that deal pretty massively, to tell you the truth. I think he's got potential to put up 60, 65-point season this coming season. And to only be making 2.1 is a pretty good steal for the Flyers. Which sounds crazy to say because the way that they've been dealing out contracts, Chuck Fletcher and Hextall, whatnot. So I think that's a win for the Flyers front office. 2 years, 2.1, Morgan Frost. I think he's going to massively outplay that as soon as this year. And then imagine he gets the power play stuff going. Imagine he figures out, how to play on the power play with the Flyers. Like some of the turnover stuff I can live with. He's not a two-way guy. He's not a defensive forward. That's not what you want to see for Morgan Frost. He has the ability right? He has the potential to be a dynamic offensive threat. That's what I want to see. And I want to see it on the power play. So a comment from Ty, solid contract. I thought it would be at least 3 years, 2.75. Can't complain. I mean, yeah, it's a win-win, because if for some reason Frost cannot carry over what he did for the last, I think it was three-fourths of the season last year, you're not looking at a guy that's going to be here for a long time, and the cap number doesn't kill you. So it's very team friendly, you know. But the Michkov stuff, not playing again. I mentioned third time in the first 4 games for Scott St. Petersburg. Even when he did play the other night, I think he played just over 6 minutes. You didn't really see much of him. It was hard to find him on the ice. I know he's wearing 39. The number kind of blends in with a lot of those guys. There was a lot of 30s and 9s and things like that out there. They all have those big numbers, if you will. But when he was out there, you hardly noticed him. And, I haven't watched a lot of KHL, but there's not a lot of room to skate out there. There's not a lot of room to move. There's always bodies on bodies. There's not a lot of space in the corners. Even when there's space around the net, there's a lot of bodies there. They kind of, like I said, I haven't watched that much KHL, but it didn't look like a game for a Michkov type player, who I will say is not afraid to get into the business after the whistle. He kind of holds his own. And Eric makes a good point here. At least he's going to stay healthy. And I've had that thought too, but at the same time, we want him playing a little bit. But it's a long season. It's only September. I'm not sure how many games there are in the KHL. Maybe one of you guys can tell me. Like I said, I just started watching KHL, like probably a lot of you guys, so we can all get up to speed together. But yeah, I'm not worried about Michkov one bit. He's not Flyers property right now. He's under contract for 3 seasons with his KHL club. They're going to do with him what they're going to do with him. That was part of the risk. So if you were on the Michkov bandwagon, this is something that you should have foresaw potentially happening, and you should have been okay with it. Now that this is happening, they get Michkov. You can't be upset. It's just something that had the opportunity to happen, and it is. Like I said, it's early. Season just started. It's probably going to be some injuries. He's going to get some time. The kid is a stud. You don't have to worry about him all of a sudden forgetting how to play hockey. So don't worry about that. We have a comment from our buddy Jonathan Nesbitt. Thumbs up on the Frost deal. The Michkov thing is a non-story. How about evaluating his season when it's done? They will probably send him to a different team over there. Yeah, and that's kind of how they do things, right? They loan guys out, yada, yada. So, yeah, I don't think there's any reason to be up in arms or panic, this and that. I understand you want to watch them play, but no reason to have a fit now. Third topic I want to get to is Carter Hart. So, like I said, if you guys are on social media, you probably saw, there was like 100 accounts, retweeting the same picture yesterday, right? And I don't really get into that. If one guy tweets it out, that guy tweeted it out. I don't need to go get the picture and retweet it and say, "Oh, look, I see this too." It's not my cup of tea, not my style. But Carter Hart supposedly, because I don't know, I'm not one of these guys who stalks out Carter Hart's Instagram account, supposedly took out the Flyers and any mention of the Flyers from his profile. Now, he does still have pictures on there, but he also went private. And I assume that means that if you're not following him or if he's not following you, you can't see his profile, which to me, that's a thing. Like, people do that every day. Maybe he's got a girlfriend and she doesn't want, people looking at his profile, or I don't know, maybe it could be anything. All right. And that was kind of my train of thought until people started bringing up other players from the Hockey Canada investigation also going private. But here's the thing. I also don't know that they weren't already private. So people like to make a huge thing. They like the clicks. They like the attention. I can't prove that they weren't private. I don't follow any of these people. I don't know what their profiles were. So yeah, I mean, in today's world, I guess it is significant when a player takes his employer or his where he works out of his profile. It supposedly signals something. I never put much stock into it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with this. With the, I've mentioned on a past show, and if you've listened to our buddies over at Snow the Goalie, Russ and Anthony, they've mentioned why the names haven't come out yet. The NHLPA has mentioned they will sue if the names are released and suspensions are given before there are any charges, because nobody's been charged with anything yet. And it came out today that the investigation is ongoing, which I find hard to believe, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's where that stands, right? And these players will sue for defamation if somebody who may know what happened comes out and says this name, this name, this name were involved. They were one of the guys in the room, yada, yada. We're not, I'm just going to leave it at that. No one's going to leak it. Nobody wants to get sued right now. So yeah, that's where that's at. We're about 12 minutes, almost 12 minutes here. I want to talk to some of you guys. So we got Micah and Mew in the Twitter space. We have a lot of people in the comments, which is always cool to see. A quick show here. Let me see, where are we at here? Ted E. Did the report come out? What's the breaking news? You're never on this early. Well, nothing new has come out. I think in some circles there are things that are known, but like I said, you can't say anything that hasn't been proven, or they're waiting for charges to come about before anything. So everyone's kind of at a standstill as far as that. My frustration is that this was supposed to come out back in July after the Stanley Cup. And here we are a week or two ahead of rookie camp, training camp. I would have a hard time believing that it's going to come out between now and then. That'd be kind of shitty. I mean, for the Flyers organization, not for anybody involved. If you're involved, you deserve what's coming, right? But I've said many times, the dots that have been connected over the summer kind of tell you what's potentially coming, right? And if you're paying attention, it's pretty easy. So let's get to some more comments here. We have Eric Wisniewski. Flyers need to try to get him here next year. Get him playing for Reading or Phantoms. He needs proper development. Yeah, for sure. And we'll see how this is going to play out. Obviously, everybody would rather have Michkov in the States. But we'll see. We'll see how it's going to play out. I don't know. Could it be that Michkov's not giving 100% effort? Could he, trying to be could he try to be forcing his way out of St. Petersburg? I'm not sure if that stuff plays over there in Russia like it does over here. Like I'm thinking NBA, James Harden type style. I'm not sure. I think there might be a little bit more discipline, respect type stuff over there. So I don't know. We'll see. The whole Michkov thing is we'll see. Obviously, we want him in the States so we can watch him at normal times at night or during the day, whenever. We're not all, sitting on our computers at lunch waiting for him to start a 7 p.m. game over there. I want to watch him. I'm just as excited as everybody else. So don't get me wrong here when I say we got to be patient. I would never watch the KHL for during the lunchtime in the middle of the day. But now I'm like, oh, is Fedotov playing? Is Kolosov playing? And I think Kolosov might actually be playing today. Fedotov got lit up in his first game of the year, 5 goals against and a loss. Kolosov 7-0 shutout victory. I think I believe he's in net today. So I'll check those games out, and maybe I'll update something on Twitter later, put an article out. KHL report. You guys know about that from the show on Tuesday. It's a new thing we're going to be doing. We've got about 5 minutes left here from Oakham's Razor. I feel like I haven't seen you in a little while, bud. How are you? We have, would you be willing to move Konechny in a package to move Sanheim's contract? I mean, I think everybody knows my thoughts on Sanheim right now. I would not do that. I've changed on Konechny. I think he's a star in this league. Said it all throughout last season. He looked like a star. I'm not sure that I would trade a star to move. While I do dump on Sanheim a lot, is he a serviceable D? Yeah, he's serviceable. But where I get kind of ticked off is he's got that long deal for a lot of money, and he's just serviceable, in my opinion. You kind of give that kind of contract and money to a high-end player, and I don't see Sanheim as that guy. But no, to answer the question, I would not move Konechny for that. I think you can get some valuable assets for Konechny if you are going to move him. And we'll see. He's only 26. I'm not sure when he turns 27 here, but with the internet, we can look that up ourselves, can't we? Travis Konechny will turn 27 in March, so he'll be 26 majority of the season. No, I don't think you move Konechny unless somebody blows you away with an offer. And I haven't heard anything swirling around Konechny, and I would imagine that we won't. I believe he's under contract for a couple more seasons here. Let me just double check. We're going to wrap this up in a couple minutes, guys. If you have any last minute questions or comments, feel free to get them in. This is why I do this, to hang out with you guys, to talk to you guys, not to hear myself talk, for sure. Here we go. Travis Konechny's under contract for 2 more seasons. So he'll be 28 by the time that contract's done. Still a valuable player. So you would hope the Flyers get blown away with something if they are going to move him. Hopefully not for a contract dump. So Teddy, sneaking a question here. Chris Therien explained it. The owner is the coach too of Michkov's team. The team was handed to him by his rich dad. He's sitting Michkov because he can. Okay, well, that sucks. Yeah, that's a shame. It's a bad look for everybody. I mean, who can agree with that? I've been seeing Demidov playing on the 4th line a lot too, although he's gotten in a couple more extra games than Michkov. So yeah, hopefully Chris knows. Hopefully that's factual information, and we can go with that. But it sucks. You want to watch him play. I get it. But I don't think we should lose any sleep over it. This 18-year-old kid is going to come over here one day and be an absolute superstar. So I get it. Everyone's excited, and that means you're extra upset because you expected to be watching him playing. And Russia's going to rush us. So what are you going to do? All right, boys and girls. Hey, we had 10 people tuning in on the YouTube here. So I appreciate you guys. I know it's lunchtime on a Friday. You guys taking time out of your day to hang out with me. Mike is still in the Twitter space. And one more comment, sneak it in. Oakham's Razor, nothing like having a coach who has never coached a game to guide this highly. Yeah, to guide this highly of a prospect. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Eric wants the Flyers to buy out Michkov's contract. I mean, why not? Why not? I don't know what it is over there. Is it expensive? I can look that up after the show, I guess. But if you guys can sneak that in the next 30 seconds, that could be an interesting topic to talk about. Somehow I wonder if the Fedotov stuff ties into this. I'm sure there's a little bit of back and forth. We're not going to be pushed around by the Flyers, the Americans. The Flyers are it seems like they're trying to do the right things. All the legal things that they can do within the rules and whatnot, which I believe they should do. Because I think when the time comes, you're going to have one side did everything the wrong way. One side did everything the right way. Do the right thing for the team that handled things the way they should have been handled. That's my take. Once again, enjoyed hanging out with all you guys. I got to run. I got a couple things I got to finish up with work. And then a Friday tea time. Wish me luck. Talk to all you guys on Monday. Thanks for hanging out.